welcome to Disc Northwest High School Boys Championship. We're here in Seattle, Washington. We've got Lakeside in red taking on Cleveland High School, who's going to be wearing black. My name is Chena Titcomb. I'll be doing the color commentary today, and I'm joined here by...
Hi, I'm Tony Goss. I'm a senior at Garfield High School, and I will be doing the play-by-play.
So just a little bit of context here for this game. This is the Boys Championship tournament, so we have 4 teams from the public schools, 2 teams from the Puget Sound League, and 2 teams from the Emerald City League that placed in order to play in this tournament. And this is the culmination of that tournament, so regular season play and sort of the postseason.
Yeah, I know both teams. For every team, this is their #1 goal. Other tournaments like the Seattle Invite are important and fun to win, but it really comes down to this game right here.
Yeah, and so I play for Seattle Riot. I've sort of grown up here in Seattle and through the system of Youth Ultimate here in Seattle. So I'm excited sort of as a player that's no longer in the youth scene.
All right, and the pull goes out. I just have to stand. Kitchell catches the pull, centers to Randolph. Randolph, oh! Randolph looks for Frankenberg, but Sia runs through and gets the initial D. Trang picks up the disc, looks hammer to Sia, and the crowd goes crazy. That's a break for Cleveland.
What a nice throw. I saw them actually warming that up, that hammer throw. We see it again here, and just what a nice shot. And that run through D, wow, to start the game.
Yeah, Cleveland showing right away that they're gonna give all their hustle and effort, and they sure know how to celebrate once they score.
That's for sure. The team mascot is down on the sideline, and I think the players really like interacting with the fans. How many people do you think we have here right now?
It's a pretty good crowd. Cleveland has definitely brought a big cheering section.
Yeah. And so the 2 players of the poll are probably the 2 names that we're going to be saying a lot, right?
Yeah, so Leo Kitchell and John Randolph, a couple players I've known and played with since middle school. They are the lifeblood of the Lakeside offense. Mostly handlers. They'll dump and swing as many times as needed in order to work the disc downfield. And another Lakeside player to watch out for is Ben Lewis. He really came onto the scene last year in the state final. He's tall and fast, and Lakeside's #1 athlete.
And so Cleveland starts with a break right there, and you can tell they were running sprints before the first point.
Yep, next pole goes up, and it's out of bounds.
Something so underrated is, I think, pulling, not just getting height and distance, but just keeping it in bounds. Right now you have a Cleveland team that just had a break. They hustled down on that first pull, and they got that by getting some of their hustle into playing here. The game kind of slows down, and really it's more to Lakeside's advantage, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Randolph takes the disc to the brick, looks off Frankenberg, dishes to Kitchell. Kitchell around to Nagasaki. Dumped it to Campos, around to Randolph. Randolph uplined it to Campos, back to Randolph. Kitchell upline, looks for Lewis. Lewis going deep, and makes that amazing catch. Wow.
What an incredible catch.
Oleru came for the poach D, but Lewis went up early, tipped the disc, and was able to hang on to it.
That's really nice because you actually see 2 Cleveland defenders peeling off as soon as they saw that disc go up, track it down and try to make a play. And the Lakeside player just did a really good job of maintaining enough focus to catch the disc after it was bobbled. A lot of players give up, but that was a nice play.
Yeah, and I think what we saw in that point was Randolph and Kitchell working it between each other. And a lot of Lakeside points are going to come off of Kitchell and Randolph's handler motion, leading to a deep look to Ben Lewis.
Okay, so I thought it was interesting there. Cleveland went with a backhand force, and we saw them do that on Wednesday against Hale when they were playing them. I thought it was pretty effective. What I noticed is that Lakeside is really comfortable throwing that give-go, throwing that up the line, but there wasn't a single break forehand that entire possession. There was a sort of a dump pass that was directly behind the player. I believe it was to Kitchell, and he sort of got the break off because of that break cut right behind him.
Yeah. In the semifinal on Wednesday, Garfield had some success forcing backhand and trapping the disc on the sideline.
Sorry, they played Garfield?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lakeside versus Garfield.
Go, boy! Go, Eagles!
Here we go, D!
Let's go, Eagles! Let's go, Lakeside! Yeah, high. Let's go! Look at Lonnie! Let's go, John!
Oh my God.
So that was really all set up. So the Cleveland was stuck in the far. Oh, looks like it appears that something is potentially being called back here. We have players that are who celebrated who are now returning to the sideline.
Yeah.
So the Lakeside zone set there is really designed to force Cleveland to throw a lot of throws. Cleveland is a team that's going to shoot deep and live and die by the deep shot, but they're going to do a lot of living by it because they're phenomenal in the air. And so what that zone does is it forces them to put up, if they are going to put up deep shots, to put it up against Lakeside's best deep defender, the best player in the air.
Yeah.
Right? That's number 20, Lewis.
Yeah. And just interesting point of contrast. The guy Cleveland is going to send deep a lot of times, Dominic Jacobs, is fairly small, especially when compared to Lewis. But he's actually a really skilled judo player, a judo fighter, and has incredible amounts of athleticism, even against a much taller player.
Yeah, so a little bit of a shorter player, but wow, that was a phenomenal. He got up.
Yeah,
Really impressive.
and he had impressive concentration to stay with the disc, even through the contact.
So we'll see. I imagine that Lakeside will throw that zone again at some point because really it does seem like it will force Cleveland to throw a lot of throws. Mm-hmm. And while Cleveland did come down with that, and that was a point for them, that's not going to work every time, right?
Yeah,
The pressure amounts over an entire game, and so we have to, they have to be prepared to see that zone over and over again.
Yeah, Cleveland has been working really hard on their zone offense. And that blade from Estoque to move the disc laterally was really effective. All right, Cleveland 2, Lakeside 1. Centers to Randolph. Cleveland with person defense. Randolph up to Lewis. Up line to Randolph. Looking for Lewis. See ya. Oh, Lewis makes the catch. He's not quite in bounds.
Puts it up.
Wow. Wow.
That's sort of one of the dangers of face guarding there is you see that Cleveland player who doesn't know that this went up, so it's just an advantage to the offense.
Still, that's an extremely impressive throw from Ben Lewis. He's really known for his speed and his skills in the air, not his high release backhands. But that was really showing his growth as a player. and a really impressive catch followed by that throw. And again, we saw some more handler motion from Lakeside, followed by, was that an up line leading to the hook?
Yeah, up line leading to the hook. I think it's interesting if, depending on who is covering Lewis, what kind of defense they're going to play. Are they going to push him under, or are they going to push him deep? So we saw he got literally a free under on that throw, and then was able to bust deep and get open deep. So it's sort of like, how do you figure out how to guard a player like that? When they're dangerous both directions. You have to choose which one you're going to take away and consistently take that away.
Yeah, it seems like Cleveland should has been already burned twice now by Lewis in the air, but he just showed right now that he's comfortable with some smaller throws, so he's still dangerous if you force him under.
Right. That's exactly how you want a teammate and a player to be dangerous and not just one-dimensional.
Yeah.
So we're going to have Lakeside on defense. We'll see if they do that zone again or if they decide to go person.
Yep. Tied at 2. Up ahead to Trang. Looks like a person from Lakeside. Trang up ahead. Estoke up to Jacobs. Around back to Estoke. Around again to Trang. Trang back to Estoke. Nice patience from Cleveland.
Yeah, really nice. Just bump and swing.
Under to Jacobs, back to Estoke. Lakeside seems to be giving up the under. Now Saley.
Still almost able to get that one.
Yeah.
That's the first turnover that Cleveland's going to give to Lakeside. So Lakeside really has the opportunity to break here. They got broken on the first point, so this will put them back on serve if they can complete it.
Yeah. Sutton not quite able to make the layout catch. Now Randolph looking deep. Alero in pursuit. Alero didn't touch the disc, but he went up early. Forced Nagase to also go up early. And that's still a D for Cleveland.
Yeah, that was great defense. Going up early. Doesn't matter if you don't touch the disc. As long as it's a turnover, you've done your job.
Yep. Estoke up to Jacobs now. Oh, no.
And a block there from Lakeside.
Was that a block or a drop from Estoke?
It looked like if you didn't touch the disc, you certainly
pressured it.
And made the receiver think about catching the disc. So Lakeside has another shot here.
Randolph picks up. Around to Kitchell. Kitchell inside to Frankenberg. Frankenberg continues around. That's a Lakeside break, and the game is back on serve.
Yeah, easy red zone there for Lakeside. You get a chance to see this nice inside break, that space, and just makes the next throw easy. No one's going to contest that. The work put in by the throw before that, made it possible.
Lakeside's end zone offense is one of the most, probably the best in the high school league. They're always patient. They have great handlers, great handler motion, and they love to hit the break side like we saw, and then they're really comfortable with the continuing swing pass.
Yeah, it's clear that if Lakeside can stay patient in the red zone, they're going to score no problem. So back on serve here, this is really a different game than what we saw on Wednesday night. So these two teams played on Wednesday night, and they really slogged it out. It was raining for both games, pretty darn cold, slippery. The disc was slippery, but also the turf was really slippery, so we kind of saw people slipping and sliding out there. And tonight is really a different night. There's not very much wind. little chilly, but really just pristine conditions for playing.
Yeah, the lack of rain and wind really favors both teams, but Cleveland, it makes over the tops a little bit easier, like we saw the blade from Estoque. And when playing zone offense, the blade is a little bit easier. Now up to Estoque, to Oleru. Oleru taking a big hot shot, looks for Sia. Sia makes the catch. Now looks for a reset, up ahead to Oleru. Oleru makes it. He's not quite in bounds though. Let's see if Cleveland can punch it in. Oh, whoa! Oh my God! What a catch from Estoque! It almost looked like a miscommunication, but Estoque saves the possession and gets the goal.
So much effort here. I mean, he just ran a 70-yard sprint essentially through the hockey and then got the give go, looks around, he's got a player at the back of the end zone and he puts it out, and wow.
Wow.
Impressive. He made that play from a standstill.
Yeah.
I think that Oleru isn't a player that I'd seen on Wednesday really take many shots, and I think it's important for him to have taken that deep shot because he's basically showing that, hey, you have to respect me as a thrower. You can't just push me under because I'm going to be dangerous in the distance. So that completion and that hook was really important.
Yeah, I've known Oleru as a player for a very long time, and especially his first couple years in high school and at Mercer Middle School, he was really the guy to send deep and make the amazing catch. But playing YCC, first with Doomsday and then with U16, and then with the Seattle mixed teams, he's really developed a really strong throwing set. And it's cool to see him connect on that shot.
Yeah. And then just to be open on that give go. You see Cleveland is going to hold this one, and that one is not quite where that goes. So that's going to give Lakeside a really short field to work with.
Yeah, and looks like Lakeside is almost close enough to go into their end zone offense, and we've already seen how efficient and lethal their end zone offense can be.
Here, but Randolph is picking up the disc.
Nagase up to Kitchell. A contested dump cut right there.
A little bit of
Kitchell,
vision there.
another inside backhand to Frankenberg. Frankenberg resets to Lewis. Sia almost got there. Whoa! Lewis looks for Nagase, but Cambronero lays out. Looks like a foul is called on the play. No contest from Cambronero. And Nagase up ahead to Randolph. Lakeside with the hold.
So it'll be interesting to sort of see how these two teams react, and as the game continues. And I wonder a little bit here before we see this score whether or not Cleveland is going to change how they play Henry defense. So Frankenberg had the disc there, and actually stall count was rising. And the player that was guarding Lewis poached off and decided to help in the goal, in the end zone. And what that meant was that Frankenberg had a free reset to Lewis.
Yeah.
It just made it kind of too easy to get that disc reset in the first stall count.
Yeah, and we've seen Lewis is comfortable having the disc on the end zone and making the smart decision. Couple players to watch for Cleveland. We shouted out some for Lakeside. We talked a bit about Amonze Oleru. Another players you'll see from Cleveland who get a lot of touches are going to be Hai Trang, Ronnie Estoke, and Justin Sia. We've seen Estoke with an amazing catch and a nice blade already, and Sia had that run through D to start the game, as well as a nice deep cut and catch. Trang has always been more of a cutter, but now looks to be more of a handler on this team. So the pull goes up. Centers to Estoke, up to Oleru. Trang now, zone from Lakeside. Saley, back to Trang. Estoke swings around. Estoke to Trang now. Trang, a very creative thrower. As we see here, over to Tong. Tong around again to Saley. Back to Estoke. Cleveland patiently working. Up ahead to Sia.
And I like that he holsters that deep shot.
Trang with the hammer now. Oh, beautiful shot. What a shot from Trang.
Wow.
He first looks at the player to his right and then hits Oleru perfectly with the hammer. These guys have been playing together since 6th grade in Mercer Middle School, and you can tell they have amazing chemistry. First the fake, and then the beautiful hammer.
Yeah, and this hammer is nice because it actually gets to him pretty quickly. It doesn't stay too long in the air. Lewis doesn't have a shot of making up that ground, and so just a really nice shot. So we saw that Lakeside zone again. I think that so I play a lot of defense for Riot and a number of other teams that I've played on in the past, and when you're playing zone, sometimes it's easy to feel like, oh, did we really challenge them? And so sometimes when you're thinking about whether or not a point was successful or like a defensive point was successful, anytime an offense has to throw an over-the-top shot, as a defense, you kind of have to count that as a win. Those are more challenging throws. They're harder to catch, and they're not going to make those throws every single time. So over the course of the game, that pressure is going to build up, even if you don't see it right away in that point.
Yeah, and especially earlier in the year, Cleveland played Franklin, and Franklin ran a lot of zone defense, and Cleveland really struggled to make throws through the cup, and they weren't completing very many over-the-tops as well. So you can really see their growth as a team this year in the last 3 weeks of the season. Pull goes up. Kitchell to Randolph. Randolph to Nagase. Nagase back to Randolph. Randolph back to Nagase. Lakeside patiently working. Around to Randolph.
We had Kitchell in the downfield as opposed to backfield.
Now under to Lewis. Back to Nagase. Up to Lewis. On the goal line now. Lewis up to Kitchell, and that's a Lakeside hold. I have to say, China, I've been really, really impressed with Ben Lewis so far. He's really shown his ability to be really versatile as a player, and there we saw him with the handler motion and then the patient find to Kitchell for an up line right on the end on the sideline.
Yeah, and that's a really nice no pivot backhand that sits nicely and doesn't zip too far ahead of Kitchell. So Kitchell can just run out and grab it. He doesn't need to make a play. It's not going too fast. You see a lot of players actually turn that throw over because they throw it too fast, and it ends up going way past the receiver, or it's coming too quickly at the receiver, and the receiver doesn't have enough time and sort of bobbles it and can't make the catch. So we just wanted to let you know, if you have any questions or comments or any shout-outs, feel free to tweet at us. We've got the Disc Northwest Live Twitter available to us, and so that's at Disc Northwest NW Live, Live. So feel free to tweet us there.
Yeah. That one more point about that upline. Lakeside has some of the smartest handler motion from any team in the area and possibly the nation. And hopefully, we might see Lakeside and some other Seattle teams go to this national invitation tournament in June.
Yeah.
But every single person on Lakeside, it seems, is comfortable making an upline cut and throwing that small upline.
Yeah, I've been really impressed actually with Lakeside spacing and their sort of commitment to holding space and making space for each other. That's been really fun to watch.
Yeah, I know when Garfield played them, we played them 3 times this year. We were very impressed with their patience and how they had one cut at a time instead of clogging. So here we go. Pulls up. Estoke catches. Up ahead to Trang. Trang to Tong. Lakeside with a Pochi zone. Over to Estoke. Under to Saley. Back to Estoke. So,
ooh, saucy high release flick there.
Alera's going to take the shot. Looking for Jacobs. And he makes the catch. Oh, but he's not quite in bounds. Jacobs now. Over to Saley. And around. And Tong has the goal. Holy smokes.
Yeah, what a nice throw to sort of cut through all those poaches at the very beginning up to Aleru, and then he finds Jacobs. Nice, easy, open backfield dump and gets around for the score.
Yeah.
Nice movement in there from Cleveland. And really what we saw Lakeside trying to do is poaching off those handlers a little bit in the front and trying to muck up any deep shots they would go up. And so that throw over the top, that high release flick, was a really nice way to sort of get beyond that wall and set up the entire score.
Yeah. Estoke put up what looked like a questionable throw to Aleru, but
hey, I mean, Aleru, we've seen him get big. He's a tall guy to start with. But he's also just phenomenal in the air. So if you're going to put up a throw, he's the guy you want to put it up to.
Yeah. And again, just like with Trang, Estoke and Aleru have been playing together since 6th grade at Mercer. And they have years of chemistry together.
Absolutely. So if you hear a lot of yelling, we have the windows open here up in the booth. So hopefully you can hear the crowd out here. Directly below us are the Cleveland fans, so you're going to hear them probably the most because they're right in front of us. But to the left, there are actually a number of Lakeside alum as well as parents and fans who are also here to support Lakeside. So we really got a great crowd, a mix from all over the city, really, and different club teams are represented and different high schools. It's fun. Parents, too, is what I've seen.
Yeah, really great to see so many people coming out to the game. So the pull was out of bounds. Randolph's going to center the disc. I'd say so far Lakeside has stuck to their patient game plan.
Yeah, and you know, we haven't really seen much we haven't seen a defensive set from Cleveland.
Yeah.
We've seen mostly person matched up.
Randolph under to Frankenberg. Frankenberg taking a shot, looking for Lewis. Aleru in the house. Oh my God! Aleru goes up. And Lewis goes up, and the disc sails over them.
So Aleru did a really wonderful job there of reading the play. And so he left his offender, and you're going to see right here Aleru go up, and actually the person that he left was Ethan Frank, I believe. And a lot of players will, on offense, they'll see a disc go up, and if they're too far away, they sort of won't hustle because they think maybe a teammate's got it. But Aleru poached off and left his person, and it doesn't have to be pretty, but that's a point.
Yeah. Aleru went up early, causing Lewis to go up early as well, but incredible hustle from Frank to follow the play and make a great catch. And I'm pretty sure he is a new player on the Lakeside team. He wasn't on their state winning or their boys championship winning team from last year.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a really nice play by Olero. And actually, if you look at that play again, what you'll be able to see is that I believe Lewis actually realizes that he's coming at the last second, and Olero does a really nice job of, he doesn't take out Lewis making that play. He goes up strong and straight. He doesn't go up into Lewis, and that would be a dangerous play. So I thought that was a really nice example of sort of going up fair and strong without any contact.
Yeah, and so far we've seen a couple calls, but they seem to have been resolved quickly by the players.
Yeah.
Kitchell with the pull now. Keeps it in bounds. Centers to Estoque. Estoque looking for an option. Over to Trang. Up ahead to Saley. Saley up to Estoque. Olero going deep. Shot to Olero. Lewis in pursuit. Oh. Olero falls down. Can't tell if there was contact on the play, but doesn't look like a foul was called.
Olero's limping a little bit, but he seems to be okay. Sometimes that happens on turf, I feel like.
Yeah.
You just get tripped up.
Randolph with the disc now. Looks to reset. Disc goes up. Lewis makes the catch.
Cleveland has actually changed their force. They were forcing backhand, now they're forcing forehand.
Now Nagase is taking a shot, looking for Frink. And two Cleveland defenders make the play. That looks like Sadin 10 gets the D.
What's interesting about that throw is that he sort of faked the forehand, and by the time he'd thrown the backhand, his player was already a little bit covered.
Yeah.
Nice defense there from Cleveland.
Trang with the disc now, over to Estoque. Oh, looks like we have an injury call.
Far side, Cleveland player down. It's a little bit hard to see from this angle who it is or what happened. Did you see anything?
I think that was
Yeah, not sure what happened
not
here.
sure.
Player is down.
Looks to be Tai Lu. And I think, Gina, if the Lakeside keeps taking shots like that, that has to be what Cleveland wants, especially if Lewis is not the one on the receiving end.
Yeah, that was a really nice defense there from Cleveland. Just peeling, one player peeled off his offender, and then the defender who, was guarding his person just did a good job of going up early and getting that block right away. And that throw, I think, if that throw was a little bit higher, I don't know if that would have been a D. But I think that throw was a little rushed, and so what happened is that it came out more as a laser. And so I imagine that wasn't quite what the thrower was trying to accomplish there.
Yeah, and we know Frink is very comfortable in the air. We just saw him make a great catch in the last point. Mm-hmm. But Cleveland also loves floaty throws, and they take advantage of that. Hope Lou's okay.
Player's still shaken up, so they're gonna. Looks like he will take a sub.
There you see Cam Bernero helping Lou off the field. You can also see the name on his jersey, which is brother. Looks like all Cleveland players have that, and their team really is a family.
So Cleveland will maintain possession.
Stoke has the disc.
Stahl will be coming in on 3, it looks like.
Stoke now. Under to Saley. Stoke at the line. And another shot to Olero. Randolph in pursuit. Oh, baby! Olero goes up early and makes the catch.
Oh, man.
It's a hold for Cleveland.
What a fantastic matchup to keep an eye
Yeah.
on. Olero so deadly up in the air. Randolph as well. Really just an amazing receiver. We'll get to see it again here. See him just go up huge and bring it down.
And Randolph is an incredible player as well. Played on the junior national team that won gold this summer. He's more of a handler by nature, but he is very athletic as well, and he followed the junior world training regimen this summer as well, and is definitely extremely athletic.
What are some of the other players on either team that played Junior Worlds this past year? Are there any others?
I think in the Seattle division this year, Randolph and Ivan Lee from Franklin were the two Junior Worlds players.
Got it.
A lot of players who are now freshmen in college, or sophomores in college, who are on the team.
Got it. So I sort of wonder as this game goes on, I don't know how many deep shots we've seen to Alero. We've seen him throw 2 deep shots, but I wonder sort of how's Lakeside going to respond to that threat? They haven't been able to contain him in the deep space or underneath. So I wonder, are they going to change up the matchup? Are they going to throw some more zone or some more junk? That'll be fun to watch as sort of this game keeps going.
Yeah. We can hear the Cleveland crowd with their mascot getting pumped up before this point.
Really cool to see, a mascot here at a Ultimate Frisbee game. It's not very common that you see sort of traditional mascots at these games.
Pole goes up, and it's inbounds this time. Up to Randolph. Lewis under. Guarded by Sia.
Just so open on that under.
Great defense from Cambronero. Randolph up line, guarded by Rowe. Randolph fakes the deep look. Lewis streaking now. Around to Nagase. Cambronero tight. Nagase resets to Randolph.
Cleveland's doing a nice job of just containing those downfield cutters and pressuring the handlers to lose yards.
Yeah. Under to Lewis. Bid from Sia. Lewis goes down, but it looks like he's okay. Now inside shot to Frankenberg. Frankenberg up the line to Nagase. Now to DeCampos. DeCampos to Lewis again, really running the show at this point. Lewis inside shot for Kitchell, and Kitchell can't quite make the play.
And if I'm not mistaken, that's only the second turnover that Lakeside's O-line has given to Cleveland this entire game. The first one was on the very first point when Cleveland converted that break. That's a really small window to throw to. Props to the defender there that made that window so small.
Yeah, Cleveland showed that point that they didn't want to give free unders to anybody except Lewis, and it seemed to pay off. Trang now up to Sia. Cleveland looking to take half. Resets to Trang.
Huge under, but he's unable to find. Now he sees his
Now up
player.
to Lopez. Now Rowe thinks about a deep shot. Around to Trang. Hammer now to Sia. Sia back to Trang. Back to Sia again. Really nice motion from Cleveland. Here comes a deep look.
High stall count there. Just has to put that one up.
Frank gets the D. Now under to Randolph.
See Mewis with his hands on his knees. This has been a long game. A lot of these players playing a lot of points here. See a number of players with their hands on their knees.
Especially Lakeside, who has a small team to begin with and really has Randolph, Kitchell, and Lewis going almost every point.
Yeah, Cleveland has a little bit more set O and D lines, and they actually have a bit of a larger team. Lakeside has some structure to O and D, but they have players that will generally play both sides.
Lewis with another huge under. Sia looks a little bit tired as well. Looks for Randolph. Randolph up line. He's so dangerous with that cut. Looks off Kitchell.
Just really want to get
around
that
to
up
Lewis.
The line. Now finally finding an around throw, but seeing that other side of the field for the first time in a while.
Yeah. Under to Campos. Randolph guarded by Trang. DeCampos up to Kitchell.
Near block.
Rowe almost got the block. Now under to Lewis again. Sia on the mark. Lewis with the disc. Randolph, another up line. And to Lewis for the goal, and Lakeside takes half.
I mean, you've got to think, so these Cleveland players are inches away from a number of these up the line cuts. You've got to think that over the course of the second half, what's going to happen is that one of those up the line cuts is just going to be a D. So here we see this inches. He nearly gets that block. He gets up, and it's a nice give-go here, takes advantage of the Cleveland player on the ground. But at some point, this pressure is going to build, and those are going to be blocks very soon. We'll see if Lakeside sort of adjusts, and maybe if they begin to threaten with the around, they'll be a little bit more successful there. And we did make a mistake. We said this would be for half, but actually we're playing to 15. Sorry for that confusion. There is also a timer going, so it looks like 61 minutes until the hard cap, I believe.
Yeah.
So,
and just really, really impressed with Lakeside. They turn the disc over right as they're about to score. They play tight defense. They force Cleveland to take, and Cleveland's comfortable hucking in a high stall count, but it seems like no one was ready for
that throw to go up.
For Sia's throw.
Yeah.
And then Lakeside goes back down the field. Really their trio of Randolph, Kitchell, and Lewis really doing it all with speedy upline cuts, break throws, and just excellent handler movement.
I was really impressed though there with Cleveland's D-line offense though. They had some really nice swinging back and forth across the field, and sometimes it seems like their players didn't necessarily see their open receivers downfield, but eventually were able to get the disc further up to them. And that was an unfortunate high stall count, sort of desperate huck. But if that happens again, I have a lot of faith that Franklin's going to come down with those, actually, just because they're so dangerous in the air. So we'll see if Lakeside goes with a zone here. We've seen them just get burned so many times by Oleru in that deep space. I mean, just to mention him, there are also a number of other players that have gone deep and been quite successful in the air. We'll see how they sort of counterattack that.
You can hear the crowd starting a Cleveland Eagles chant. If Lakeside scores, they will take half.
Right, and sort of a break here would be really heartbreaking for Cleveland. So this is a really important hold for Cleveland here.
Randolph with the pull. Looks like it's going out of bounds.
You know, it's funny. I was just saying that it's an important hold, but if you look at the Cleveland players, their body language just shows absolute confidence. And that's really important in moments like these when it's, you know, every point matters. Some points sometimes matter more than others, but all of their body language just shows absolute confidence.
Trang under to Oleru. Dishes to Tong. Up to Saley. Estoke.
Oleru just shoots deep and actually gets two Lakeside players.
Contested reset to Trang. Estoke lays out, gets the up line. Cleveland really staying on this sideline. Estoke, trust shot to Oleru. Disc goes up, and Lewis gets the D. Really nice positioning and just hops from Ben Lewis.
Yeah, and I think that throw. I feel like he wanted to throw that deeper, but he was actually pretty close to the end zone. So there wasn't much deep space for him to throw to.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why it came out as a blade. He had to keep it in bounds.
Now Randolph up to Nagase. Lewis streaks deep. Around to Randolph. Under to Lewis.
Lewis Oleru matchup.
Under to Nagase. Back to Frankenberg. Cleveland with tight defense. Randolph.
Yeah, nice handler D. And it looks like there is a call on that throw.
Eric Wu had the disc. He was kind of trapped on the sideline. and he was looking to swing to Randolph. But it appears to be contact from Sada-10.
We'll see. I mean, these two players are chatting it out. As far as I can see, the sideline isn't getting involved, which is nice. Plays back in. Lakeside retains possession.
Trang with a nice defense. Here comes the shot. And Wu throws it away.
And really, that D comes from the handler defenders. As much as the mark was fantastic from Cleveland there, the handler defenders shut down those dump options.
Yeah.
And what that meant is that the Lakeside player had to look downfield, and with nobody open, he had to put up sort of a desperation throw.
Yeah.
Nice D there from Cleveland to get that one back. This is important.
Both teams really showing great person defense and have forced some high stall count throws.
Looks like perhaps that throw actually never came in bounds.
Trang walking it up.
Unclear.
Another hammer from Trang. We've seen a few tonight.
Is that a no-look hammer?
Tong up to Saley. Saley around to Trang. Another from Trang. Wu in pursuit.
That one's going to hold.
Sada-10 can't make the catch.
That one's going to hang a little bit longer, I think,
Possibly a call.
than what he wanted to. What's really interesting right now that Lakeside is doing really effectively is they have the handler defenders working together. So the person that's guarding the disc has a pretty strong no around mark, and the players that are guarding the handlers that are set up in the dump space are doing a really nice job of taking away that up line. So those two players, the entire defensive unit is working together to smother really the Cleveland handlers. And so what we saw that hammer go up to swing the disc. That's just the amount of pressure that we're talking about.
Yeah. Looks like we have a contested foul call on that hammer. This goes back to Trang. We might see another high stall count deep throw.
It's unclear what the stall count is coming in here, but a lot of double cutting
Trang
here.
looks for Estoke. And another great catch from Ronnie Estoke.
Makes essentially the same
And he calls a
catch.
timeout.
Wow, very impressive. What we saw there, though, as that stall count was rising, was that Cleveland was getting a little bit frantic, and we saw three players actually cutting into that underspace, clogging a little bit of that space, making it really hard for trying to have any options, really. And then that Mark doing a really nice job of sticking to the game plan, sticking to the around. It's really nice. So we do want to spend a little bit of time and let people know that please consider supporting Disc Northwest Youth Ultimate by attending the 2016 Fall Bid Dinner and Auction on Saturday, November 12th. All proceeds support the Disc Northwest Youth Development Fund. The Youth Development Fund allows Disc Northwest to offer financial aid to teams and athletes throughout the year, pay coaching stipends, and much, much more. Learn more about attending or donating items at www.discnorthwest.org.
Yeah. So I've had the privilege to be on the YCC teams, the Youth Club Championship teams, for the past 3 or 4 years now. And really the Disc Northwest Youth Development Fund has been critical for getting players from all over Seattle to come make the trip to Minnesota, which is somewhat expensive. And
it's a tournament that's unlike any other, really. That experience for players I almost want to say shapes your entire life. Shaped my life, at least my Ultimate Frisbee career. I played in 2009, 2010, and 2011. And really just a wonderful opportunity for players. So please consider supporting Disc Northwest Youth Ultimate and attend the Fall Bid Dinner and Auction. That's Saturday, November 12th. Shameless plug. Sorry, everybody.
Shameless, but worth it.
All right. Cleveland's on offense here. Looks like
On the sideline.
They are in their end zone set. They've got Oleru isolated at the front of the stack. I expect him to be a target for the score. We have Lewis matched up on Oleru. Fun matchup.
Lakeside with kind of a poachy look on the vert stack. A blade. Trang makes the catch.
He's actually not in bounds. He's still 5 yards out of the end zone.
Trang, another blade to Oleru, and Cleveland gets the hold.
Wow. Nice. He did a really good job finding a receiver that was open. Here we see that flick blade. Really nice catch here in traffic. And then we see a little bit of confusion from Cleveland. You know, Trang is looking around, trying to find who he's supposed to throw to. Their end zone set, fakes the backhand and ends up throwing this forehand blade to Oleru, who was poached right on that sideline.
Cleveland really showing they're unafraid to throw hammers and blades to complete passes. And something you probably wouldn't see from Lakeside is kind of a breakdown of the end zone offense. Cleveland didn't really maintain their position,
Their structure.
but they were still able to punch in the goal thanks to really just, first of all, great hands from Trang to track the blade from Astoke, and then a great find to Oleru, who found the corner of the end zone.
Yeah, and I think what's really being showcased here is that Cleveland has a lot of creativity with their throws. I think Lakeside has some throwers that are also creative with their throws, but they kind of like to stick to their system and sort of run their system, really. And Cleveland, you know, when they get into high-pressure situations, they're able to get out of those high-pressure situations by being creative. And that's, I mean, as a fan, as a audience member, it's really fun to watch that.
That's true.
And it's really fun to watch sort of these two teams compete with such different styles of ultimate. It's sort of why everybody follows sports. You know, it's for these stories and for the excitement of
all right, this is the point to take half. Kitchell up to Randolph. Randolph looks off Lewis. A poach from Bachili. Up to Lewis, slides to make the catch. Lewis now over to Kitchell, up line to Lewis. Lewis thinks about the look to Frankenberg. Now Randolph gets another up line, but
again, up line after up line
very
after
contested.
Up line.
Now around to Kitchell, who runs it over. Kitchell under to Frankenberg. Under to Lewis. Lakeside being really patient. Lewis looking for Randolph. Oh!
Wow, fantastic heads-up play there by Cleveland. You just saw Lewis holding
Oh, and a huge shot from Rowe looking for Oleru. And Oleru makes the catch!
Unbelievable.
Does he call timeout?
Unclear. Looks like he thought about it, maybe.
And another shot looking for Bachili. And he throws it out of bounds, and DeCampos gets to the D. What a turn of events.
So a nice red zone defense there from Cleveland that really created so much pressure that Lewis didn't have many options, right? He was trying to sneak a throw into a space and try to catch that defender snoozing. Not possible. Cleveland is alert.
Yeah, one thing I noticed was that Randolph was in the cutter set in that end zone offense for Lakeside. Normally he's in the handler set, and looks like they couldn't get it to him. So now Lakeside with the disc. Frank up to Lewis.
Oleru just poaching off of Lewis immensely.
Oleru guarding him. Under to Randolph. Both teams look a little bit fatigued.
Oh, looking for Lewis. Two Cleveland players.
Whoa! Lewis goes up but can't quite make the catch.
And you know what's great there is that he finishes that defensive play. Earlier in this game, we saw Oleru go up and another Lakeside defender complete the play and score that goal. And this time what we see another defender come into the play, but he actually catches it. And that means that the Lakeside player who's coming in on the left side of the screen right there can't make that grab, make that score.
So Cleveland calls timeout.
Wow. Back-to-back incredible plays from both teams, really.
I think with this last point, we've seen when discipline breaks down, both teams are going to look for the huck.
Yeah, they're going to look for that deep throw.
And I think that in the end will benefit Cleveland. We saw Sia with the very heads-up poach, and Lewis might make the play if Sia's not right behind him going up for the disc.
Yeah, I think Cleveland has done a little bit better on these throws, peeling off of their offenders, and really, creating a lot of pressure for the Lakeside receivers. Conversely, Lakeside has really stuck to their percent. They haven't really helped each other much on defense, and I think that right now Cleveland is kind of winning that aspect of this game.
Yeah, but we also saw before Lakeside first end zone turnover. This is point is very high pressure. Take half in the Disc Northwest Boys Championship, and Lakeside was just comfortable working it up the 4 sideline, hitting unders, breaking the mark for swings, getting up lines, and I really think that's Lakeside's bread and butter, and that's where they're gonna have advantages over Cleveland.
Again, if you have any thoughts or want to join in on the conversation, feel free to tweet at us. The Twitter handle is DiscNW Live. And let us know if you have any questions. We got some fans who say that we sound great. Thank you, Lisa Port. I'm not sure I know who that is.
I think that's Nathan Hale player Gabe Port's mom. We appreciate it. Yeah. I'm definitely really enjoying my first time doing a broadcast.
It's lots of fun. We're really happy, and we definitely want to thank Fulcrum Media for really making this possible, as well as Disc Northwest for putting this all together.
Yep. Disc is in now. Frank looks to be poaching deep. Upline to row. O'Leary's going. Huge floaty throw. Oh, man.
Who's going to come down with it?
And Randolph makes an incredible catch.
Just a pile of players, and he just
huge
is able to
pile
come down
of players. And Lakeside gets the disc back now. DeCampos. Oh, and we have a travel called. It looked to me like O'Leary had steps, but the throw from Rowe kind of leaned back and it floated.
Yeah, it hung a little bit, and what that meant is that Lakeside had more of an opportunity to get defenders under the disc. So here we have Lakeside here maintaining possession. This would, if they score this is a hold for them, and we're on serve.
Yeah. Now DeCampos has it on the sideline.
Nice, excellent mark, rotating around based on the threats, but he still gets that one off.
Kitchell has the disc now. Looks for Randolph. Sia with great defense. Now DeCampos gets it up line, guarded by Rowe.
Looks like another timeout.
Wow.
This is the third timeout, I believe, in this point. Third timeout. Lakeside second of this point. Players are tired. You can see a lot of them have their hands on their knees. This is a very high-intensity game, of course, not just because the stakes are high, but a high level of ultimate that's being played, and it's really fun to watch, for sure. And what I'm liking is that no one's getting sloppy or too, showing nerves, right? Everybody seems to be playing calmly and coolly. It's just a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, and so now Cleveland has no more timeouts, and Lakeside has their floater timeout that they can use this half. So again, we saw Lakeside, after the great D from Randolph, really just, again, work it up the field. Cleveland had great handler pressure, but Lakeside, just running upline after upline, was able to win their matchups, and now they have the disc on the end zone again.
Yeah, and we know that one of Lakeside's strengths is red zone, just punching the ball in. And so I think this will really give them an opportunity to shine and show what they're really good at. Fitting the disc into small spaces and finding open receivers.
Yeah. And if Lakeside manages to punch this one in, this game is still
On
up for
serve.
grabs,
Yeah.
on serve, and
Very
it's going
much
to
on
be a
serve.
crazy second half.
Very much anyone's game. This is exactly what you want this game to be, right? The finals of high school boys championship.
So DeCampos has the disc. Looks like they're going to isolate Randolph. We'll see how Cleveland decides to play this defense. Randolph is extremely quick. He has his first 3 steps, as we've seen with his handler cuts, are almost impossible to guard.
Yeah, really
so
hard
having
to guard.
him isolated in space like this is a very tough matchup for any Cleveland defender.
Yeah, I sort of wonder, he's set up so close to that sideline. I wonder if he's going to be sort of a fake ISO and he's going to slash across and become the dump set. And if we're going to see Kitchell come to that front cone, cut to that space in a foot race. I mean, he's pretty fast himself, so.
To Campos, disc is in.
Sure enough, he clears out.
Up line to Kitchell. And Randolph gets the goal.
What a nice throw. I mean, what's great about that score there is that Randolph really knows that Kitchell likes that soft backhand. And so he's able to make that cut for that specific throw. A flick right here is going to be a little too fast, but a backhand that's soft, has that inside out air bounce type of quality, that's going to work. And so that's what he's cutting for.
And so we saw Cleveland looks like they stopped the first look, which was a cut to Randolph. But then Kitchell was able to get a contested up line. And when Kitchell has the disc on the end zone and Randolph's cutting for him, that's a combination that they've been able to connect on all year.
All right, and that's halftime. We've got Lakeside up 8-7. This is a really tight game, so I really hope that you're going to stick around. We are going to show you a quick clip just to give a big shout out to Fulcrum Media. And then after this, we're hoping we can get a interview with a player as well. Yeah, so stay tuned for that. We want to confirm that we get him before we... Yeah. Okay, thanks for joining us.
All right. So I'm here now with Ivan Lee.
Hello, everyone.
He is a player for Franklin High School, member of YCC Open and the junior national team from this summer. Ivan had a great season this year, and Ivan, just tell me a little bit about the Junior World experience. I know it was an amazing time.
Junior Worlds was an amazing experience. It was just phenomenal. Just meeting everyone around the country and just playing the sport we love. It's amazing, and just seeing how competitive each country is. It's like what we love to do. It's like what we love to see.
What would you say your favorite memory was from your trip to where'd you go?
We went to Poland. My favorite memory is probably just bonding with a whole bunch of new faces that I've never seen before, and just having the chance to bond with them within a short amount of time and getting really, really close with each other. And it was amazing. We made some long-term relationships.
That's really nice to hear. So you've been a part of this league for 4 years. You're a senior now. What do you think about knowing these teams? What do you think about how the game's been going so far?
The game is pretty crazy. They're trading. It's pretty exciting. I don't know. Like you said before, I've heard that Cleveland's been playing together for so long with their chemistry. And for me, I'm rooting for Cleveland because those are also my brothers as well. But Lakeside, they're really talented and smart. And, of course, they have John, Leo, and Ben. And they're definitely going to be a hard one to beat.
Yeah. Well, we've seen a great half so far. So now I'm sticking my head out the window, say hello to the camera. Quick shout out to Evander and Cody and a lot of the fans coming out to support. I guess before you go, Ivan, one more question for you. What do you think is going to happen in the second half?
Hopefully we get to see a lot more breaks. Like, not point-wise, but breaking the marks a lot more. Because I think breaking the mark a lot more would lead to, I don't know how to say it.
Just better movement?
Yeah, just better movement. And so, oh my gosh.
Yeah, the crowd has really been really active tonight, supporting Cleveland, but really cheering for great plays overall.
But yeah, these two teams are really good. And I don't know. The ending's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, and fortunately for both teams, Lakeside won a state championship last year, and Cleveland, this is the first time their program has ever been in the state tournament. So really, it's a great year for both teams.
Yeah. Yeah, Cleveland's been working very, very hard this year, and they deserve to be here because of all the hard work they put in.
Cool. All right, well, thank you so much, Ivan.
Yep, no problem.
You're great.
I know.
On the air. Looks like we have the second half coming up right now, and we'll get Sheena back on.
Thank you for having me, y'all.
So that was fun to hear from Ivan. Franklin was in the finals last year, I believe, and if you watched that game, phenomenal player.
Yeah, Ivan, it's still painful.
It's still
for
painful,
Ivan
but that's what sports are all about. You play games and you put your heart out there, and that's why we love to play this game so much. So before we get started on the second half, I did want to give a quick shout out. Tomorrow, the Girls Ultimate Movement and Seven Hills Ultimate Club are running a free clinic to celebrate the Girls Ultimate community in Seattle. Come learn more about the Seven Hills program and play Ultimate with your friends. It's open to girls of middle school and high school age, and it's free. The clinic starts at noon tomorrow, October 30th, at Franklin High School. Learn more at gum.usaultimate.org.
All right.
That's really open to everyone, so all levels of play. If you know somebody who hasn't played before and you want to give them an opportunity to learn how to play, bring them out. We got to get more young girls playing in this sport.
Yeah, it's really nice to see Nariah Sims, coach for Lakeside, who's also was on the women's junior world team, out here coaching the team. And I know Kate Doherty, another Lakeside player who is on the national team, is also a big part of the Lakeside Ultimate community. So here we go. Second half starts. Randolph with the pull. Cleveland on offense. Game is on serve. Estoke over to Trang. Under to Oleru. Looking for Tong. Randolph with the block, but looks like it was a foul.
Uncontested there. You saw Randolph just pick up the disc and say, yep, that was a foul. Let's just get playing.
And interesting to see Randolph on Oleru now. Look, Lewis isn't on this point. Under to Sia. Around to Estoke. Oh, Trang with the great up line cut. Oleru taking a shot, looking for Sia. And Sia can't quite make the play. That throw was right down the line, and it would have taken an amazing throw to complete that one. Also looked like Oleru looked off Trang, who was open up line.
Yeah, that was a fast, zippy throw. But if we know anything about this O-line from Cleveland is that, they've gotten the disc back. So
yeah.
I have full
So
confidence.
now Randolph around to Kitchell. Guarded by Estoke. Kitchell now to Campos. Kitchell makes the catch under pressure from Estoke. Under to Frankenberg. Let's see how Lakeside plays offense without Ben Lewis. Frankenberg running the show. Takes a shot, looking for Randolph.
In his hands, but he's
Wow.
not going to be able to get that one back.
Randolph was open, and I've seen him make that play thousands of times. Can't quite make this one. Now Trang looks for Sia and can't quite complete it. Both teams having some communication issues.
Yeah, not sure who exactly he was actually looking for there, sort of in between two receivers.
Kitchell with the disc now. This would be a big break for Lakeside to start the half. Trang on Randolph. Let's see if the poach from Cleveland can go.
Nice mark here.
Alero on Frankenberg. Frankenberg beats him up line. Alero is a defender. Estoke now, and Kitchell with a great up line.
Oh my goodness. Kitchell with a lot of speed, uses his body to get that inside lane and create that separation and make just an easier throw on Frankenberg, I believe.
Yeah. Frankenberg has had some very nice upline throws. He's very comfortable.
We'll see this one again. Frankenberg holding. He tracks Kitchell. He's able to make that. Looks like he is being called not quite in. So Kitchell will have possession here.
Kitchell looking for Randolph.
Oh.
And Trang with the layout D.
Yeah, what nice D there from Cleveland. You saw them learn from Kitchell's really nice soft backhands in the end zone. And he knew that was coming. He's able to make that play.
So I'll talk more about that after this point. Estoke with the blade to Saley.
So cheeky, but I love it.
Back to Estoke. Kitchell with the bid. Sia. Alero is just hanging in the deep space. Tong goes up line. Wu with great defense. Tong tries the greatest, but can't quite throw it back in bounds.
Very physical mark there from Kitchell. Cleveland really threw that forehand a little bit off balance, it looked like.
Randolph around to Kitchell. Back to Randolph. Randolph big around. Oh, almost a poach from Sia. Now upfield to Frankenberg.
I like that he actually didn't go for the block there because that's an incredibly dangerous play.
I'd agree.
So props for being careful.
And now John gets his speed going. Trang is very frustrated.
That's a break for Lakeside. And you know what? They just showed exactly what their bread and butter is. We'll get to see it again here. Frankenberg and just this give-go movement that I really think that Cleveland just hasn't been able to shut down. Give, go, boom, boom, 1, 2, 3, score.
And really, like, Cleveland has gotten blocks in this game. We saw Trang with the great layout D there, and clearly he learned from their last play where Randolph made a similar move in the end zone. Mm-hmm. Now, while talking to Reed Koss during halftime, who is a coach for the junior national team, Koss said that the play Lakeside ran at the end of the first half was a play Team Canada used really effectively, where the cutter fakes to the front of the end zone and then goes for a blade or an around throw into the space they've created in the back of the end zone. Now we can hear Cleveland, the cheering section, led by Franklin coach Frank Nam, cheering, "I believe that we can fly," really trying to get their team to rally in this game.
Yeah, and so I think sometimes what we see from teams that haven't really been on the stage before is we see them maybe get punched and then don't punch back. So this point is really important. If Cleveland can hold here, this shows that that they're the real deal and that they can win this game.
Yep.
If they roll over, it's going to be really hard to stay in this game this late in the game.
Estoke to Trang. Over to Saley, back to Trang. Under to Oleru. Sadaton, and he drops it. Oh no. Randolph looking for Kitchell. And Kitchell with the quick strike for the break. It's exactly what you were talking about. Cleveland could not give up that short break, but they did.
So we'll see this one again. You know what I was about to say is that I really liked that Cleveland was just moving the disc really quickly. I thought they did that very effectively. And then we see this nice throw. Got some good edge on it. He doesn't put it up too high up. He doesn't give the defense even a shot to make a play at that disc.
Randolph and Kitchell are very comfortable throwing to each other.
That's just a nice throw. So Lakeside now up 2 breaks. It'll be really interesting to see what kind of response Cleveland has.
23 minutes left in the game. Cleveland had some incredible comebacks this year, coming back from a 6-point deficit against Franklin earlier in the season. And the crowd is the biggest they've ever had. We can hear them chanting, "Let's go Eagles." And I'd say at this point, it's almost now or never for Cleveland.
Yeah, I think this point in the game, it's really hard as a young player. These players, have been playing a couple years in high school and in middle school as well, but it takes just a lot of experience to be able to be down and have to claw yourself back into it and to win a game. And that's
looks a little bit sad.
That's why Lakeside is a returning champion here.
Yeah, they're very comfortable playing under pressure. Astoke over to Trang. Lewis is back in the game now. Saley up to set a ton. Nice catch there after his earlier drop.
I think they just look very comfortable, to be honest, moving the disc.
Big shot to Trang. Hammered, looking for Oleru again. And Oleru with another incredible catch.
Oh my goodness, that was incredible. So he caught that trailing, helixing hammer. We'll get to see this again. The shot out wide, high release throw, or high release and high stall count, and then ripping a hammer that's going to helix. And oh my goodness, what a phenomenal catch. Catching it on the way down with his right hand, stopping that rotation well before he hits the ground. There's really no contest as to whether or not it was up or down, and that's great.
I was really fortunate to play with Oleru at YCC in the U16 division and in the U19 mixed division, and especially in the U16 division. As we're seeing right now, he is in one-on-one almost unstoppable, and he made plays all throughout the YCC tournament that you just had to shake your head at, and there's another one right here.
Yeah, and that's a play both that was really needed by Cleveland in terms of just getting a hold, getting the defensive line back out there, but also pumping up his teammates. That's like a reminder, hey, we're still in it. You know, we can make plays. We can make this happen. And it's exciting to see that from a player that's, a senior on this team. Cleveland is going to graduate 8 or 9 seniors this year, so this is it for them.
Yeah. Randolph, short little upline. Lewis streaking deep around to Kitchell. Kitchell with a big fake. Randolph guarded by Lee. Kitchell with a floaty shot looking for Frankenberg.
And
wow.
Another deflected Cleveland disc that Lakeside just comes down with. So really nice. You see an underthrow to Lewis, and then he doesn't even look upfield. He just shoots it out wide to Kitchell, rips a backhand, and that's the break. That's a break backhand huck. So the defenders are not in their ideal positions. And you see really nice play here by Cleveland to get up and get a finger on it. But
Frank
Lakeside,
again,
just following the play.
His second one, yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to think that's a win for Cleveland, having a floaty deep throw that's not going to Ben Lewis, and Lakeside really able to take advantage of that great follow.
Yeah, that is true. Unfortunately, we're getting later into the game where they don't have really enough time to really have that be an opportunity that they're happy to see occur.
Yeah, and for Cleveland, they really pride themselves on winning plays in the air. For me as a smaller player, I've been skied many times, so it's not much of a emotional toll. But for you, we saw Lopez after that play really upset with himself, and that's part of that shows Cleveland's style and their emotion.
Yeah, I think seems like they sort of live and die by their emotions. and take it really personally, which in a lot of ways means a lot of personal stake and investment in the team and being successful.
So Lakeside pulling. Lewis is in on defense. He wasn't in on the last D point, I think. And this is a game to 15, so Lakeside needs 4 more points. Probably won't get there, though, because of the time cap. So disc up to Estoque, to Saley, and then back to Estoque. Flips it to Sia. Now back to Tong. Tong under to Saley. Lakeside seems to be poaching the deep space. Scuba from Estoque to Cambronero. Trang thinks about the shot to Oleru. Cambronero up, Estoque up line, but it's too far for Estoque. I think a tight throw right to Estoque's chest would have been completed, but was that Wu or Frink? I think it was Wu with the heads-up poach.
Yeah.
So now Randolph with the disc. A score here for Lakeside could really put the game away.
And it's funny,
under to Lewis.
It looks like Cleveland actually has changed some of their players, so they do have some of their defensive stalwarts out on this point.
Kitchell thinks about the look to Lewis. Under, Sia almost gets the layout D. Under to Nagase.
Oh! And a phenomenal catch block. He was so assertive with
Sia
that
streaking deep
block.
now. Here, Estoque looking for Cambronero. He's wide open, and Cambronero with the bookends.
Wow,
What a turn of events.
fantastic. You see, he is pumped about that play. We'll get a chance just to see this. It's a nice give-go action here. And then he's going to go wide off the screen on your right. And he's just an open target. So easy.
And really, anytime Cleveland can take a deep shot without Ben Lewis being in the deep space, it looks like they have an advantage.
It actually looks like there is a call on the field, so perhaps this disc will go back. It's a little unclear what happened. It's hard to tell based on people's body language. Perhaps a travel, perhaps a pick. I mean, regardless, that was a phenomenal layout D to get the disc back for Cleveland.
It's like Kitchell and Trang are talking it over.
So I'm not sure what this would mean. If they're talking about a pick that happened away from the disc, that wouldn't affect this play. If they're talking about a potential foul, then maybe that would affect. But we're still not really sure what's happening.
And it is important to point out that we don't have observers in this game who they don't make calls, but they can overrule player calls. So Cleveland now back on offense. Estoque up the line. Around to Trang. Trang, another shot for Oleru. Is it going to be too deep? And Oleru saves the point for Cleveland.
Fantastic grab. Keeps his toes in bounds. You know, he knew that back line was coming. So we're going to see this. I actually really like swinging it wide, opening up more space, not getting trapped on that sideline. And then a huge back end. And you just see Oleru sizing that up, and he knows where that back end zone line is, so he's just trying to keep that in bounds. He goes up nice and early.
Didn't really give Ben Lewis a chance to get position, because we've seen earlier in the game when both Lewis and Oleru have position, Lewis seems to have the advantage. But there, Oleru, just an amazing play again to keep his team in the game. Lakeside still in control, though.
Yeah, 11-9, still very much in control. There's about 14 minutes left in the game, and we'll keep an eye on that in terms of hard cap, try to keep you all updated on that.
And you have to think Lakeside is pretty bummed about that missed opportunity. They could have taken a 4-point lead with less than 15 minutes in the game, but instead now it's a 2-point game. And if Cleveland can keep the score within 1 before hard cap ends, then time will no longer be a factor. And it'll really just come down to who can score.
And we did just want to clarify it is only hard. So at 14, in 14 minutes, it'll be hard cap. There's no soft cap.
So Cleveland with the pull. Lewis up to Kitchell. Swings over to the Campos. Kitchell up the line. Lewis with another free under. Kitchell streaking up line. Inside shot to Randolph. Nice throw from Lewis. A shot to Kitchell now. Kitchell goes for it. And Lewis comes out of nowhere to make an
Phenomenal grab.
amazing catch. Wow.
We'll get to see this one again. Lewis fighting for the round, but actually gets the inside off, and then Randolph just ripping a forehand. It looks like Lewis is his intended target. It actually floats a little bit, and there's some other defenders and offenders that are able to come into that space. But what a phenomenal grab.
Not sure if it was intended for Lewis or Kitchell, but really, as we saw in the state final last year, Lewis just late in the game kept making plays. He's really who they look to when their stall count rises. And we saw Cleveland's defense on the last point with Cambernero's layout D. Person for person, Cleveland seems to be winning their matchups on defense. And really, Lewis, Randolph, and Kitchell are the only ones who continue to be open consistently.
Yeah, they're definitely giving the Cleveland defenders fits. I think that if the Cleveland handler defenders can stop that give and go and just have Lakeside hold the disc in their hands for 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, that's going to be a win. And eventually, that's going to create enough pressure to be a turnover.
Here we go. Kitchell with the pull. Estoque up to Trang. Back to Estoque. Poachy look from Lakeside. Over to Trang. And
Phenomenal
O'Leary
grab.
staking deep again. Looks like he had some steps. O'Leary with a blade, but Randolph is in the area. Looks like a cramp. It's like a cramp. These Lakeside players are playing almost every point, especially Randolph. So it's not surprising that they have some injuries.
Yeah, so he's pointing here for the high release forehand. I think that one floated a little bit too much. If he'd thrown a blade, sort of similar to the ones that he'd thrown earlier in this game, that might have been able to reach his receiver a little bit faster.
Yeah.
Randolph is down. Appears to be just a cramp. He's going to most likely get helped off right now. But
no.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was back in the game.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Cleveland, this injury takes a little more time off the clock, so they really need to get a D this point. So play resumes with Moy picking up. Over to the Campos. Lakeside has not played many points this year without Randolph on the field. And the up line. Nagase tries to toe the line. Unsure if in or out of bounds.
Looks like he's calling it out of bounds. We'll get another chance to see it now. This actually might not be the best angle, to be honest. But
Let's see what
regardless,
happens.
this is a nice, he has steps. Oh,
And the shot goes up. Looking for... Oh, and see it. Trang can't quite make the play. Man, if Lakeside was able to punch that in without Randolph, that would have been huge. But now they have to work almost the full field.
Yeah, Cleveland really needs to get a block and needs to get this hold on the board. They do not have time. Time is really running out. They have little less than 10 minutes.
Oh, wow.
It's like a block there on the up the line, but there was a defender that was coming in pretty fast. So
Yeah.
I think there was a collision.
Attempted poach. Really just a dangerous play.
We'll get to see that again on here. Not sure exactly what happened. Looks like,
Yeah, you see Estoque just going for the disc as Moy comes in.
and it's hard to see from that angle, but it looks like the player that was guarding the Lakeside,
It's Cambronero.
Camronero, looks like he actually got the D, but there was some contact after the D occurred
So
with the poacher.
if you were observing, what call would you make here?
I'm not sure. We only got a chance to see that replay once, and it looks like this is non-contested. So I guess that there was more contact before the D occurred.
So play resumes now.
although there is some confusion about maybe the setup. Perhaps there's a violation call. A little bit hard to tell from up here what's going on.
Cambronero on the mark. Up line to Kitchell. You have to think Lewis is going to go deep at some point here. De Campos inside to Nagase.
Lewis is just open on that under.
Trang with the poach. De Campos looks off the look to Lewis. Kitchell with a nice up line cut. Hammer now, a hammer look. And Lakeside gets the break without John Randolph on the field. Really incredible play from Leo Kitchell, driving his team up the field. And then he finds Yo-Yo Nagase with the hammer.
We'll get to see this one again. Beats his player up line, really just turns his defender around, and then unleashes the hammer. And what I like about this is actually he throws it early. He doesn't wait too long. And so that window is really nice and open for the hammer to connect with his teammate.
So we see some creativity from Kitchell. Really, is that the first over the top we've seen from Lakeside? One of the few.
Yeah. I mean, that break there was really impressive by Lakeside. Cleveland is now down by quite a bit with 7 minutes. Although, honestly, I mean, we saw from that very first point, right, where Lakeside was centering the disc in the very first throw, Cleveland got a run through D and converted it immediately. So if they can just get a couple of scores here quickly and efficiently, this is still a very winnable game for them. Lakeside has really played out their plan to the T. They've used that quick handler movement. They've hucked to players that are, they're players that are quite good in the air, and they've had good throws as well, so they haven't just been putting up 50-50 shots. They've also had players follow the play and pick up the trash.
And there Kitchell punished the poach from Cleveland. So now Astoke catches the pull up to Trang. Cleveland needs a quick score. Probably look for a shot to Oleru. Upfield to Oleru. And he takes a shot. But Lewis is in the house. He bumps into Bacilli. Do you think if Lewis doesn't hit Bacilli, he might have a second effort play there?
I think the disc was a little too far out of the way, but really what I would have liked to see is another Cleveland player follow that play.
Yeah, and we've seen Lakeside have some great follows so far.
I like Oleru as a deep cutter and as a player in the air. He's had a couple of good throws, but I think that those throws need to come from the handlers that are comfortable putting those throws up. That wasn't a throw that I think he's gonna come back to that throw and think that he maybe should have put it higher up.
Yeah. Astoke now on defense. Kitchell with a great catch. Great throw from Frankenberg. Kitchell, throw and go. Thinks about Lewis deep. Kitchell really running it right now.
Yeah, he loves that backhand. He catches it and immediately fakes that backhand huck.
Frankenberg up to Lewis. And Lewis calls a timeout. Did Lakeside call a timeout before the start of this point? They just huddled up. It wasn't a timeout?
I don't think so. I don't think it was a timeout, but smart move on their part to call a timeout here.
Must be their last timeout.
They so they're actually coached by Luke Johnson, who's sort of behind the scenes right now, bringing you this live stream. And so who they have down there on the field helping out is Andy Loveseth and Kelly Johnson. And I think that timeout is partially coming from Andrew Loveseth. He's a player. He's coached the Riot for a number of years. He's coached the U.S. women's national team. And I think a timeout now, especially with the timing, with 4 minutes left, that's smart coaching. Obviously they want to convert this break, but it's pretty convenient with the timing. I also did actually just want to give a quick shout out to everyone who's making this happen. Technical director, of course, Luke Johnson. We got the top 50 camera, Scott Dunham. Thanks, Scott. End zone camera. Slow motion replay is Eddie Chan. I'm doing the color commentary, and I'm joined here by Tony.
Hi.
doing the play-by-play. So thanks to everybody who's making it happen.
Yeah. As a player, I've been in games before when you're trying to mount a comeback and the other team takes a timeout late in the game, and it's a really smart play, and there's nothing you can do about it. And it really just really is demoralizing.
Yeah, it's great time management by Lakeside here. And I think, as a community right now, we might not feel comfortable with that. We might think that that's a little, is that spirit of the game? Is that not spirit of the game?
Yeah.
I'm of the opinion that playing by the rules is spirit of the game. And you can take a timeout when you're playing Ultimate. And so whether you take it at the beginning of the game or at the end of the game, it's just as valid.
Yeah.
But I think it's an interesting discussion.
I really liked what they've done with the Nationals format. We're having a point cap instead of a time cap in some of the big games. So here we go. Lewis upline to Kitchell. Not quite in the end zone. Around to Lewis. Nice catch.
Got a Cleveland
Look for
player
Kitchell upline
poaching.
again. Lewis with a hammer. Wow. Ben Lewis. I have never seen him throw anything like that before, but he really, I'd say that puts the game away.
Yeah,
Look at this. Look at this throw.
So he's seeing that Cleveland has a player that's poaching on the right side of the screen there that's just left his offender. And so he's going to hit that thrower or that player all the way on the other side of the field. And it's really hard for the defense to make up that ground. Great throw and great way to punish that Cleveland defense. I think I do like that defensive look from Cleveland, though.
Yeah.
Pulling a player and having them be at the front of the cone, that's where Lakeside has been scoring their goals. So putting a player there, that's not a bad idea.
Now we can see some really sad emotions from Cleveland. There's really no chance of a comeback with only 2 minutes left in the game. And really, you have to hand it to Lakeside for staying disciplined and playing smart.
And I think also right now is that it's important to really have some perspective and keep the entire season.
Yeah, you see a layer there really just overcome.
Keep the season in perspective. This is a team that has come a really long way as a team this year and also as a program in the last 4 years. This is the first time that these players have had a chance to play on a big stage like this, and it's an experience that you're going to take with you for the rest of your life, and it's going to make you better. It's funny when you think about games that matter to you once you become a little bit of an older player. You hear a lot of veterans say that it's the games that you lost that you've learned the most from. And there's still some time here. Lakeside puts up the pole.
Yeah. Rowe fields it. Around to Yoshitomi. Kitchell with a poach D. Up to Randolph. The game on the line. Kitchell. Randolph almost falls.
A nice round throw there. It looks like it is going to come back on a travel call.
And Lakeside now 5 yards away from their second consecutive state title.
I think this is actually an advantage to Lakeside here. They were very chaotic, and a stoppage in play actually is beneficial for them here. They get to organize themselves. Disc comes in.
Around it to Campos. Sia almost with the layout D. Looks like Cleveland switched the force. Randolph now up line. Hey!
And Cleveland gets that back. The same exact play, but the other direction. Really nice. He just read the movement beautifully. I love that.
That's one of Cleveland's least used players, Mohamed DeCane. He refers to himself as Kristaps Mozingas, like the Knicks player Kristaps Porzingis. He's one of the, he has some of the best spirit and he's really the heart and soul of the Cleveland team. So even though Cleveland has now run out of time to win this game, seeing a play from DeCane really gives them a little bit of heart.
Lakeside with the opportunity here to put this game away. This is
Randolph with the hammer. Jacobs in the house.
And that hammer was helixing, and Lakeside just had a little bit of a better angle to get to that disc. Jacobs was trying to make up that ground and trying to track it, but the shape of the throw was just against him. We'll see this again. A nice hammer there from Randolph, I believe.
Randolph really has nothing to lose at this point. Puts that where really only his player can get at it. And
Jacob really does all that he can there to make up that ground and try to make a play.
But Elias Ortega has has a memorable play to win a state championship on.
So thank you everybody for joining us here tonight from Seattle, Washington. This was the Disc Northwest High School Boys Championship. Again, just want to give a quick shout out. Join us on Saturday, November 12th for the Disc Northwest 2016 Fall Bid Dinner in Action. And then tomorrow, the Girls Ultimate Movement and Seven Hills Ultimate Club are having a gum clinic at noon tomorrow, Franklin High School. And thanks so much. It's been a pleasure. It's been so much fun to commentate this game and watch these phenomenal athletes play.
Yeah, we see them shaking hands now. Cambronero leading the way.
A lot of heart out there. Shout out to Foker Media, specifically Luke Johnson, putting this all together, making it all happen. My name is Chena Tidgum.
I'm Tony Goss.
Thanks so much for being with us tonight. Good night.